Welcome everyone to the 7th Annual American Basketball Hall of Fame Press Conference. I'm Len Critchko, President of Operations for the American Basketball Hall of Fame. Today, you're going to hear about a great Hall of Fame class of 2025 with some outstanding high school, college coaches, along with an Eastern League owner and player, NBA executive, NBA players, WNBA playing greats, a worldwide marketing executive, and the founder of the best USA Roundball Classic, the Dapper Dan from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a Harlem Globetrotter, and the second oldest comedy basketball team, the Harlem Clowns. A big thanks to our Hall of Fame team of Lamont Showboat Robinson, our leader, Russell Johnson and his company Liquid Raw, for providing all the video and technical support for today's press conference. Keith Spillett and Jordan Queen, who worked so hard behind the scenes to bring this great new class of basketball greats for 2025. We are fortunate to have two American Basketball Hall of Famers with us today and a host of others. The two that we have today is first our leader, founder, and CEO, Lamont Robinson. I'd like to acknowledge Lamont, former comedy entertainer with the Harlem Clowns. Also, our other Hall of Famer who was inducted 2 years ago. He is the GOAT of sports broadcasting, our host, our MC today, and our good friend, Ronnie Duncan. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Len. Thank you so much for being here. And once again, it is such a pleasure to be a part of the American Basketball Hall of Fame. When you speak of the class of 2025, well, they will have their enshrinement. It will be August the 17th, and it will be at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History right here in Detroit, Michigan. You see that fine building. That fine building will have an opportunity to engage with stars of the past who are influencing stars of the future. Names perhaps you may have forgotten about, but contributors to the basketball game that we say are worthy of the American Basketball Hall of Fame. Let's start with the class of 2025. You remember him as a defensive genius. In 1986, he was among the last college players ever to win a gold medal under Bobby Knight. I speak of San Antonio Spurs because that's the team that everyone associates himself with, number 21 from San Antonio, Alvin Robertson. Then there's a young man who did his basketball playing in the NBA. And when you got a name like Coleon, you know he can make an offer you can't refuse. Coleon, you love. The Cleveland Cavaliers drafted our next one, but he became a name because he could do what his brother could do and was part of the slam dunk competition. Led the New York Knicks and so many tremendous slam dunks at Madison Square Garden. I speak of the one and only Joe Wilkins. Boston University, the Terriers. They do it. Hey, Debbie Miller, we're talking about your game back in the day. She's Debbie Miller Palmore, and she was one of those young ladies that laid the land in Boston. Yeah, that was Larry Bird playing and some other folks down the street, but everyone came to Boston to see what she could do with the Terriers. Then Derek Gervin. You talk about a man of minutes, a man of time, a man who could put it in from the University of Texas, San Antonio, and from right out of Detroit, Michigan, Derek Gervin. This has been a long time coming because when you speak of this young man that you see right there, we go back. He was a star child. Memphis, you got it. He had basketball in his jeans, and a first-round draft pick of the Phoenix Suns, William Bedford. Julius McCoy, a player at Michigan State as well as Eastern Basketball League. Julius was back in the day when everyone didn't have an opportunity to play or go to the NBA and be looked at, but Julius was one of those guys. Then a young lady who's an Olympian. She is a WNBA finalist for the championship, and she played with the WNBA Sacramento Monarchs. Ruthie Bolton played a basketball at Auburn University where she was an All-American. He's one of the best businessmen and one of the microwave on the basketball court. Perhaps the best man to ever come off the bench. Vince Johnson. You remember him and all the great things that he did with the Washington Generals as well. How about Michael Rizek, contributor with the Flint Pros of the Eastern Basketball League? He is going to be one of those individuals we look at who gave opportunity. You speak of Dapper Dan, You speak of Dick Vitale, you speak of who really found LeBron James, who really found the Michael Jordan. Yes, Sonny Vaccaro. I'm talking about a man who opened the door for so many when he did that tournament in Penn Hills, and of course, they call it Pittsburgh. Sonny Vaccaro. Tom Wilson, contributor with the Detroit Pistons, a man who was in the front office and saw talent and recognized it and helped so many careers. Frank Sinsick, a basketball coach, Furrow High School. Anytime you can do that and make young people better, we say you are a member of the American Basketball Hall of Fame. You remember him, oh, Phil Hubbard, a national championship finalist, a U.S. Olympian, playing for the Detroit Pistons, but a man who knows a lot about the state of Michigan. He's deserving of the American Basketball Hall of Fame. Brian Burdine, West Virginia State University. Oh, you may not know the name, but when we tell you about his game on the 17th of August, you're going to say he is deserving as well. How about Benny White, a player, Michigan State University? Benny was doing that thing when most people said, hey, man, that's a nice haircut Benny got. Benny said, I got a nice jump and I know how to pass the ball too. Marvin Owens, University of Detroit, number 30, Garfield High School, could get it done. And Marvin, we're looking forward to having you in Detroit, Michigan on August 17th. Bucky Lou, the first Black player to play professional basketball. Sometimes we hear about Sweetwater. Sometimes we hear about Lloyd. But how about the individual who was able to play that game as a pro and get paid? We honor him. He's the Mad Max. You see him now, and he has become a darling of social media. And young people were saying he was like that then. He's still like that now. He played with Houston, but we remember him down in Florida. He is the one and only Vernon Maxwell. And my broadcast partner, and he and I are part owners of the first Black all sports talk radio network, which debuted in the month of June. He played with the Detroit Pistons, won a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. And do you know that he is the last HBCU player ever to be a lottery pick? He's the one and only Lindsey Hunter. That is our draft class for this year. And then when you look at Sweet Lou Dunbar, a man that everybody knows from the Harlem Globetrotters and a man deserving of all that there is. What a class we have. And as the names go on, it is the Harlem Clowns, the second oldest comedy basketball league in the country. And the man who put this all together was a part of it, Lamont Showboat Robinson. And finally, a young man that you see for baseball, but little did you know, he played with Steve Kerr at Arizona, Sean Elliott at Arizona. He was the point guard. You knew him as a Hall of Famer, soon to be in the center field. We're making him a Hall of Famer with the American Basketball Hall of Fame, and that is the great Kenny Lofton out of Chicago. I'm Ronnie Duncan, and it has been such an honor to have an opportunity to talk to some of these individuals. And when I speak of the individuals that we can talk to, it has to be an honor for them to be with us today because of this. Let's bring in one right now, because when we look back at times, we can say, hey, it is the one, the only William Bedford. Brother, it is so nice to see you, because you know what? I'm glad, because I know the real story. Opportunity, being in the right place at the right time. And the thing about it, in high school, right there where you're from, you were a legend, baby. You're a giant. You still got those high school records that cannot be broken, cannot be touched. As a matter of fact, if I want to give you a high five at 5'11", it ain't going to happen. I got to get to your size. How does it feel to be a member of the American Basketball Hall of Fame?
Well, it feels great. I mean, I was very surprised when Jordan called me and let me know what was going on, and I was kind of shocked just to be named in the same sentence as some of these guys that's being inducted. It's a pleasure, and I look forward to meeting a bunch of them again, and I look forward to being at the ceremony and seeing all you guys once again.
How does it feel to have that love for a game that you were attracted to, and maybe because of the skills God gave you, 7-1, and you grow into a game that you begin to love? Maybe you didn't like it at first, but you grow into a game that you begin to love, and to have this on that Mount Rushmore. You see that trophy back there? Brother, I got one now. You about to get one.
Yeah, that's nice. It's really nice. That's funny how you say that, because, I've always been the one that that wanted to be on one of these talk things, like they wanted to be in like these big ceremonies. But I was like, I didn't do anything for that. I said, did I start off not liking basketball? That's why I'm like this now. But like you said, I grew up, man, I didn't like basketball. I didn't want to have nothing to do with basketball. And I just met a couple of people that got me, motivated enough to go to a gym. And I started playing. And, I guess my ninth grade year, actually playing in front of a school crowd that nobody knew I was on the team because they never seen me in the gym practicing. And so the coach threw me on the team. And it was just a shock to see at the way the people were reacting to me being on the court, and I couldn't even play. So I started learning how to play the game. I started falling in love with the game. And then I started loving the game so much that I wanted to play instead of getting paid. I didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't care about the money. All I cared about, I did not want to sit on that bench.
That's great. Well, Wayne,
Yeah.
we're looking forward to it. We're going to see you on August 17th. And I can't
Yes,
wait
sir.
to get a big old hug from the big old Willie B. William
Yes,
Bedford
sir.
from
Yes,
Memphis,
sir.
Tennessee. All right, let's go to another one of our All-Stars. It's going to be a Hall of Famer. And we have Debbie Miller. Palmore, Debbie, you're looking great. Look, just don't put that jump in my face. Don't put that jump in my face right now. All right? Just don't do that, But how does it feel to be not only a part of this, but representing women's basketball for the job that you did while you were at the University of Boston?
Well, it's honestly, it's a great honor. It's a great honor to be here. I just wanted to thank the Hall of Fame and all the committee members for this recognition. So I just feel special about it. So it's great.
You got to hold and tell everybody. I mean, and you
I
get the phone call. So what was it like? I mean, you're sitting at home, and I know there's some times in life we said, man, did they forget about me? I know you felt good when you got that call. Tell us about it.
Oh, I definitely feel good because I love the game since I was very small and all the way up. I love the opportunity that it's afforded me, the chance to represent the United States on the Olympic team, the travel, all the people that you meet and stuff like that. And so again, to have recognition on top of that is especially awesome.
I'll take you back to a contemporary of your time.
Okay.
They say she is the Oscar Robertson of women's basketball. You knew about the game, you knew about her contributions, and you talk about someone who could have made the Olympics, but unfortunately had a knee injury. But she's in the American Basketball Hall of Fame. So when you see the names like Ruthie Bolton, but the name I'm speaking of is the one Cheryl Cookie Monster Cook, and you know what she did that at the University of Cincinnati. How good does it feel to be among that company of women and the statement women have made in this game?
Yeah, well, I feel like a legend to a certain degree because I was got into basketball, got the advantages from basketball from Title IX. So that was on the backs of women that went before us, and laid the groundwork and played the game. And then hopefully the things that the people in my era did laid the groundwork for the WNBA and playing overseas and opportunities that women get. So I think it's just the kind of the circle of life, if you would. And I also wanted to give a shout out while I'm here, just to my family and my coaches. We have a program called Top of the Key, and we've been doing it for over 30 years. We impact thousands and thousands of kids. We have leagues, we do training, we do camps, AAU programs. So it's just been great for me, to kind of be able to stay in the game throughout my whole life. So it's been
Look
awesome.
at you, girl. Top of the key. That's where you love to shoot, wasn't it? All righty. Debbie, we thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you on the 17th of August right here in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Well, let's move on and talk to another Hall of Famer that just happens to be with us today, because when we do this Hall of Fame thing, we talk to the best. Derek German. Ain't no place like home. This ain't Dorothy, man. This is all about you. You get the call and they say, hey, Derek, we know you're down there in San Antonio, but you got to come home because you just made the American Basketball Hall of Fame. Thoughts?
Wow. Well, my first thought is just wow. And I want to thank the committee, first of all, even for going out doing their due diligence and finding guys like myself, Mrs. Palmore, after all these years. I mean, that all the work we put in was worthwhile. And I really want to thank the committee from the bottom of my heart. lost my mom in 2019, but I know she's smiling down on me, and it's been a great year for me. I actually went into the University of Texas San Antonio Hall of Fame in October, and then here I am 7 months later in May, being told that I'm going into the Hall of Fame, the American Basketball Hall of Fame 2025, and I'm just honored and grateful. And shout out to my brother George Gervin for pushing me. And of course, all my high school coaches and college and pros, my teammates, I could never leave them out. And I'm just honored. And Ronnie, I want to thank all you guys and you ladies for making this happen. And I'm humbled, and I truly, truly appreciate it.
All right. Little known fact, I'm sure that you know, in reference to your brother, who happens to be in the American Basketball Hall of Fame. But Derek, you know he was the original Nike man. You know that, right? The Iceman was the original Nike man.
Well, you got Mr. McCarroll. You got
hey, look, they signed 3 players out the gate. Austin Carr, Bill Chenier, but their main guy was George Gervin. They turned that Puma upside down and made it Nike. And now you know the rest of the story.
And Ronnie, I have to thank you for that, because a lot of people I know in this era, they know about Michael Jordan and the shoes. And George and I actually wear Jordans still to this day. But thank you for giving my brother.
But check this out. A lot of people don't realize that George and Michael won the same Chicago Bulls team at one point.
And
a lot of people don't know that. Quentin Daly, part of that whole makeup. Oh, it was a fun little team. And then, of course, Reggie Theus. I was like, there are not enough balls for George Gervin, Michael Jordan, Reggie Theus, and Quentin Daly. Someone has got to go.
and can I say something quickly? We talk about the game of basketball. I played with Quentin Daly near the end of his career in Oklahoma City. Henry Bibby was the coach. And so some of these names you bring up, man, it's just amazing. The game it's a revolving door. George started off with Dr. J, ended up with Michael Jordan. And he was with Michael Jordan, the head coach, had been George's previous coach in San Antonio. Rest in peace, Stan Albeck. So I want to make sure I give Mr. Albeck his love.
Before I let you go, I think we have to pay homage to the man who not only came up with the idea, but he recognized this is not a fan thing. This is not who I think is one of my friends getting in. He goes back and he tries to find that jewel that made that person so influential in the game beyond the points. And that's Lamont Showboat Robinson. Your thoughts on not only what he's done with the American Basketball Hall of Fame, but how he has taken us to new lights. And let's face it, there are those within corporate worlds that may say, oh, we're not with this. This is needed. This is important. Anytime you can bring guys back to the game who have had legendary names, both from the playground, from the hardwood to the asphalt, it doesn't matter. The game of basketball is loved. And Lamont, who, by the way, played with the Harlem Globetrotters, played with the Harlem Kings, played with the Clowns, has done so much to bring people back to the game that others have forgotten.
Well, I want to thank Mr. Robinson sincerely for giving us our flowers while we're still here. A lot of times people get their flowers, but they're not here to appreciate it. And that means he had to do a lot of work. And to go out and find these ball players, that means, like I said earlier, everything we've done is not for no reason. And when you got someone like Mr. Robinson that appreciates the game of basketball and can go out there and do all his research, and to find players like myself, Ms. Paul Moore, Mr. Alvin Robertson, all these guys, I'll have to give him his credit. And that's fantastic. And hopefully he'll help the young people start studying the history of the game and finding out what the game is really about.
Derek, I look forward to seeing you. And we'll talk about my cousin who happens to be on the offensive line for your football team. We'll talk about Mr. Missouri, but we'll do that a little bit later. Thanks, Derek.
Let's go Lions.
All right, let's go Lions. You got it. Look, we are here, and if you're just joining us, for the American Basketball Hall of Fame. We just told you who's going to be a part of the class of 2025. We got somebody else we want you to talk to. Take a look at this. I'm talking about Chris Vulture, but Chris, you're here because you are here for Bucky Lee. And let's face it, someone who gave so much to this game, and family members are excited that he has not been forgotten. Explain.
Yeah, thanks. I'm happy to be here to represent my hometown hero. So Bucky Lou, who many folks don't know, integrated both college and professional basketball by 1903. He started at the Y in Lowell, Massachusetts in 1898. In 1902, he signed a pro contract with a team in the New England League. In 1903, he coached at what is now UMass Lowell, a Division I basketball program. And this is the first Hall of Fame that he's been inducted in. So definitely very excited to see it, very enthusiastic about it.
When we speak, and I would like to apologize, I said Lee, but I meant Lou. But when we speak of that courageous spirit that Bucky had, and how even today, his story has impacted his family, but more importantly, your community. Tell us how.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was somewhat of a forgotten figure. I myself, from the same hometown, same neighborhood, actually had not heard of him until a few years ago. I was shocked to learn of his achievements. Definitely doing my best to get the word out there, and 2 books about him, doing what we can in Lowell to honor his achievements and then beyond. So that's why this inductment into the American Basketball Hall of Fame is so exciting, because we're seeing him get recognized outside of his hometown, outside of New England, and he's getting the recognition that he deserves.
A lot of good basketball played in New England. Y'all got so many different areas. You got New Haven, you got New York, you got Boston, you got Rhode Island. You got Bucky had to play. When you hear people talk about his game and describe to you, because obviously I know you never saw him play, but describe to you his game, what are the words that they use to describe it?
So he was more of a defensive specialist. I mean, one of his teammates said that his primary goal was the possession of the ball. So to me, he was almost like a Bill Russell type of character, a dominant defensive player, all about getting the ball and then initiating his team's offense after that. So definitely played hard, played for 25 years into his early 40s, which is remarkable considering all the obstacles that he faced. Definitely someone who persevered through a lot of adversity.
Hey, playing in his 40s. Well, before there was a guy by the name of LeBron James. How about that?
Way before that. Yep.
Hey, well before that. That's what I'm saying. Longevity has its place in life. Once again, Chris, we thank you for joining us. Bucky Lou, the first Black player to play professional basketball. See, those are the kind of stories, folks, you're going to be hearing with the American Basketball Association Hall of Fame, the American Basketball Hall of Fame. You know, there's a guy who sits in the backstage with Lamont, and he's a guy who has done so much great work. And I speak of Russell Johnson, Liquid Raw. You see the way things look, that good professional look. He's one of those reasons. And I had to take some time to say thank you to my friend. If we have somebody up next, then I want to talk to him. Oh my goodness. Is that the one, the only? Alvin, look, bro, I don't want no heat. All right. I know how it was in practice. All right. I covered you for a long time. Alvin, why is it that people talk about San Antonio, but they don't talk about the mere fact that you had to play the best offensive players in the 1986 Olympics, where everybody else doesn't look at that? You were the guy who said, look, Bob Knight, don't come at me wrong. This is how I play. This is how I get down. Everybody, Michael Jordan, to the man, has respect for you. Alvin, it is a pleasure, man, not only to talk to you, but to take you back to them days. Because, bro, if anybody brought it, you brought it back in the day. Congratulations being a new member of the 2025 Basketball Hall of Fame for the American Basketball Hall of Fame. How does it feel, man?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me and let me be a part of the prestigious society there that you guys are representing. I'm happy to be involved. And, you know, when you bring back those old glory days, I was fortunate and to be able to play with some great players, be among some great teammates that helped me put me in positions to succeed.
Let me take you back. I'm going to go ahead and ask you something now, because I'm going to ask you something honestly. See, I was with you guys when you came to Phoenix. Okay. And I know Bob is gone. Rest his soul. As a matter of fact, he's a member of the American Basketball Hall of Fame. We're talking about Bob Knight. Who would you have taken? Because I know who your boy was. Does Johnny Dawkins make that team? Come on now. Be honest with me.
Okay.
Does Johnny Dawkins make that team? If it's up to you.
I think Johnny Dawkins was he was an alternate.
Right. He was the alternate.
and he was kind of young. There was a lot of very good basketball players that was attending the camp to try to qualify to make the team, and a lot of guards got overlooked, or Bob chose different players. You know, you had Porter, Terry Porter was there, Joe Dumars was there, Mark Price, Stockton. There was a bunch of players that was there in the deal. And so just to be elected, I mean, even though Johnny was elected as an alternate, you know, that was an accomplishment in itself, because, as I said, there was a lot of very qualified players that could have been in that position as well.
Was the most unsung player on that team Vern Fleming? Was the most
Vern was on the team. Happened to be at the time a very good friend of mine as well. Chris Mullin.
That's right, Chris Mullin.
Spot as well. And,
but I'm talking about as far as see, when I think about you, I think about your great defensive prowess. The mere fact that it didn't make a difference whether you were in the paint or whether you had to get somebody on the perimeter. Brother, you were bringing it, and you did it in the NBA as well. You know, everybody talks about, who was a good defender on Michael in the NBA? I said, excuse me, did you ever see Vern Fleming go up against Michael Jordan? Oh, those are some battles.
Well, you know, in practice time, it was Vern, myself. It was another guard that came in very highly claimed as a defensive player, was Gene Smith from Georgetown, right? So he was the talk at the time, because Georgetown had a lot of success at the time. And when you got to compete against some of the players, you finally get an opportunity to play against some of the players that you've watched on TV in the NCAA tournament, as with all collegiate players at the time. I was fortunate enough to be able to play in a good conference, and our team was pretty good to where we did play against North Carolina during our college year when I was a senior. So we got a chance to play against Michael Jordan. And our rivalry was, of course, Phi Slamma Jamma, which had Drexler and Olajuwon, those guys on the team. So we got an opportunity to compete at a high level, and we got a lot of good exposure while playing. And I think that gave me a little bit more of an inside opportunity at participating in the Olympics than some of the other players that you didn't see as much on TV.
Brother, you were fearless. I look forward to meeting you and seeing you again. It's been so many years. You think 85, 86, you think you, and I go, I remember every time when I was living in Phoenix and I was doing sports in Phoenix, they would go, oh, hell, Alvin's coming to town. And that means you ain't going to get nothing easy if he's D'ing you.
You know, Phoenix was a fun place to play at. Had a lot of enthusiasm around the team. And unfortunately, you know, this was right when it was cleaning the league up, and they had some setbacks there. But along with that team, I ended up playing with Jay Humphreys, which happened to be a good friend of mine as well. And I ended up playing with him for maybe 4 or 5 years in Milwaukee. And that was pretty enjoyable as well.
Yeah, Jay was a heck of a player, heck of a guy, and was there at a good time. Alvin, we look forward to seeing you, man. American Basketball Hall of Fame. It's about time, baby. It's about time. All right.
Again, thank you guys for the opportunity. I appreciate it. I look forward to being there, and hopefully this thing it takes off the way you guys anticipated it to be.
Oh, it's going to take off because you're part of it. Hey, look, folks, if you have been here and you have been a part of what we've done, we just want to thank you. They told me I had to be done by 11 o'clock. It is almost 11. So that means, as always, don't forget, it will be the induction of the 2025 class of the American Basketball Hall of Fame at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History in Detroit, Michigan. I'm Ronnie Duncan. And as always, everybody, I just want to say 3, 2, 1. I'm done. I'll see you in August.
The network that is changing the game of streaming live entertainment. Welcome to the Hall of Fame Network, the home of the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame, the National High School Football Hall of Fame, and the American Basketball Hall of Fame. Experience the most iconic induction ceremonies in the world, streaming live annually. But that's not all. We bring you more documentaries, concerts, movies, and live interviews with entertainers and sports legends. The Hall of Fame Network is also the exclusive home to the American Basketball League's 48-game season. Every play, every slam dunk. The Hall of Fame Network isn't just a platform. It's a movement, a hub for all things sports, music, and entertainment, where passion, excellence, and history collide. Join us as we continue to create unforgettable moments and let your brand be part of the legacy. Reach millions of passionate fans around the globe and align with greatness that is the Hall of Fame Network. Hall of Fame Network, streaming legends, empowering brands. The future of sports entertainment is here.